let's talk about a new palette from a brand new indie brand. It is Cryptine Cosmetics, and it has been started by the creator Hazy over on Instagram. You might be familiar with their page. They have some beautiful, beautiful swatches, and they also are the creators of the clear acrylic empty palettes that are specifically square pans to fit Clionadh Cosmetics shades, but they also do have round pans, and they are selling them on the Cryptine Cosmetics website. I believe they're currently all sold out, but they have a bunch of different variations. They're super high quality, so definitely recommend checking those out. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about their brand new first launch of a palette, and it is called the Burnt Forest palette. And I mean, let's just take a look at this packaging because it's so like conceptual, because the finish reflects the theme without like hitting you over the head with it, without literally having a burnt forest on the packaging. So I absolutely love this. It is the kind of faux leather bound format. It's shining, and I actually really like that because I think it's going to be so much easier to just wipe this off. And this palette was sent to me from Cryptine Cosmetics, so thank you so much for sending it over to me. I'm honored to be one of the very first people to try it out. So let's take a look at the inside color story. There is a mirror in here, and it actually has the Burnt Forest palette name on the inside, but I'm not going to be flashing you with that. So here is the color story. We have 6 mattes and 6 shimmers, and there's a couple of different textures of shimmers for sure in here. Lots of beautiful shiny shifty shades. 4 of the shimmers are multi-chromes. There is 1 duochrome and 1 mixed shimmer shade, and this palette is $59, so I feel like that's kind of on par to Adept Cosmetics, for example. I love that there's 3 deepening up shades, including a black shade, which by the way will actually arrive separately. So I believe that Lake is the duochrome, Starry Sky is the mixed shimmer, and then the rest are the multi-chromes. And I will be showing you each of these shimmer shades swatched individually, and we're going to talk about what those shades look like. And there is also a single eyeshadow that is launching called Fairyland, and this one is going to be $18, and it is a really beautiful multi-chrome shade. So you're going to be seeing the swatches as I'm already talking about it, but like I said, we're going to be getting into the nitty-gritty of each of the multi-chromes, and then we'll get into the swatch comparisons and then the 2 looks, and then I'll give you some my thoughts at the end of the video. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to be pairing these up within the palette. So first is Matinal and then Dawn below it. And these essentially very, very similar in their base and in the shift. I think the shift is just slightly different tone, but straight on they look pretty different. So Matinal is blue and Dawn is green. Next up is Lake at the top and Moss below it. These are also more sheer shades. They do not share a base. Moss is that pink to yellow to green to orange with a little bit of a green base. And then Lake is a super vibrant blue to purple, like a really bright purple. And then a Wildfire at the top and the Starry Sky below it. These are the darkest shade in the palette. I don't believe Starry Sky is necessarily a multi-chrome. I don't really see a shift. It's a mixed shimmer, so I think there's just a lot of different particles throughout it, but it is predominantly a dark blue. And then Wildfire is definitely a really beautiful reddish, orangey, black base multi-chrome. I don't think that the black base is as heavy as it is on some other jeweled multi-chromes that I have. I can definitely see it on the edges. And here's the Fairyland single. And this one is very beautiful, cool toned, light purple. And it shifts to a green and then a blue all the way at the end here. Very dimensional for sure. I don't really feel like it has much of a base, but I don't think it's really sheer either. You might get a little sheer wash if you just use a little bit and you kind of blend it out. taking Bergine and popping that into the crease. Holy pigmentation. Okay. Amazing. And it's blending out so fast. Done. Wait, how many seconds has it been? Oh my god. That was amazing. Okay, next I'm going into Soil. I'm gonna pop that onto the outer corner. At this point, if you've been to my channel, you know the drill. And I'm just gonna put that all the way underneath my lower lash line to connect as well. And now I'm gonna wipe off this brush into my microfiber cloth, and I'm just gonna start to feather this outwards into the green. And that is blending so great. I feel like it's blending away just a little bit over here, but I'm just gonna tap on a little bit more. And then I'm gonna go back in with the other brush that I was using. Both of these are from Rougher. And just kind of blending it out a little bit more. And then it's time for the shimmer. I'm gonna use the Shimmer Stay from Bella Beauté Bar. I like that this has a doe foot applicator on it. I just think it makes shadow base application so much easier and faster. Moss, and as you can see, it picks up a little bit chunky, but it doesn't feel like dry flaky or anything like that. But because of that, it doesn't really apply evenly. So I'm going to go in with my finger actually and just make sure that I'm spreading it out. Ooh, I love these kinds of shades. And then I'm going to take just a tiny bit more on my pinky to get up in here into this inner portion area. And then just tapping it all the way. Look at how smooth that is. So beautiful. Here's the first finished look. Picking up Transition and putting that into the crease. I'm going to focus it kind of halfway in my crease and then onto the outer corner as well as a little bit under my lower lash line. And just taking a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in with Withered Leaf onto the outer corner. I'm just gonna pop that into the crease, but I'm first laying it down just on the outer corner of the lid, and then I'm going to start blending it outwards because this way I have control on how far out I want to take it. I'm just taking a little bit more on the lower lash line, so now I'm going to wipe off this brush and I'm going to start blending it out. And I'm going to go back in with Withered Leaf and just kind of stamp it on. And blend it out a little bit more. But this way it went out a lot less further out because I put it on the lid first. Picked up Wildfire and I misted my brush just with some water. I'm going to pop that right on the center of my lid. Oh, I love these two together. The grungy green with the kind of brighter orange. It looks kind of a little bit more orange now that it's on my lid, which is interesting. And then I think on the inner corner, I feel like this will be maybe weird, but I really want to do it, so we're going to do it. I picked up Lake and I misted my brush. And I'm going to pop that right above it. Told you it would be weird. But I'm kind of into it, I think. It's a little bit different. And then, like, putting out the flame with this blue, essentially. And this one was a little bit flaky, so I think I'm going to go in with my pinky and just make sure it's nice and smooth out. But I am also going to add a little bit more Wildfire to just help blend it in to that shade. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to just go over the edge here just to make sure there's no harsh edges. It's nice and blend it out. Here's the second finished look. So first I'm going to talk about the Fairyland single eyeshadow. I haven't used it at the time that I'm filming this quite yet, but it does feel really, really smooth and really shifty and beautiful. So I'm very excited. I'll probably feature this one in a reel, so make sure you're following me over on Instagram so you don't miss any looks that might not be posted here. I try to post my reels as shorts on here, but I honestly forget about it. But let's get into some of my initial thoughts on the Cryptine Cosmetics Burnt Forest palette. Love the color story. I think there's a lot of different looks that you could create here. The mattes are so pigmented and they blend really nicely. Really enjoying the mattes, and what a way to start off a brand with some amazing quality mattes. I think that's pretty amazing because I feel like from my experience when I do try new indie brands, I feel like it's actually usually the mattes that are not quite right, but the shimmers are usually always a knockout. I just think it's probably easier to create shimmers than mattes, but the mattes are really nice. I can't wait to dip into this palette some more. I definitely feel like there's, like I said, such a variety of different looks. I think especially because there's so many multi-chromos, you could create so many different layered looks and get different layered effects. Specifically with Matinal and Dawn, these feel really smooth. And then Starry Sky I did not get to use, but this one looks like it's a little bit chunky in the pan and definitely will need just a tiny bit of smoothing out, but it's not chunky in like a dry, flaky way. And then Lake, it doesn't pick up quite evenly, so it has a little bit of that texture to it, but again, completely smooths out. And then Wildfire is very smooth, kind of black base multi-chrome, lots of shine, very metallic. They are all very shiny and very smooth on the lid, including Moss, which I think this one is the most flakier one out of all of them. But again, it's not like a dry flaky where it takes a little bit of work. It's a little bit of like a softer flaky. Also, none of these feel squishy in the pan, but it completely smoothed out on the lid, and I do prefer to use these kinds of shades with my finger just personally. So far, I'm very impressed, and I am so excited to see what else they come out with because I already feel like this theme is very unique. The color story is beautiful. Quality is so good between the shimmers and the mattes as well, and I really love the looks that I came out with. Such a beautiful color story. Again, let me know in the comments below what you think of this palette. Are you excited for a new indie brand? Will you be picking this up? It is already launched at the time that you're watching this, so definitely check out their website. I don't know if it will sell out. I will link the palette and the single eyeshadow in the description box. And that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.